Hey, what is going on? We back, baby. You see it? That's right.
Let's
Welcome
go.
to the first show of hopefully many. This is the NBA wrap up, folks. That's right. You see it. John,
New and
Ron, we back in
direct.
the building.
We are here, new and direct. Yes, sir. Hope everybody out there is enjoying themselves today. We are scheduled to have Big Nation on tonight. He was running through some difficulties. Hopefully he can still join us while we're midway through. We'd love to get his, perspective on what's going on in today's NBA and also get a little freestyle from him. So let's fingers crossed that while we're on this show, he jumps right on in. But otherwise, we will still be talking about what's happening in today's NBA. FIBA games are coming up in the next couple of weeks or so. We're going to talk about that. And yeah, we're going to share, if Big Nation doesn't happen to jump on with us, we are definitely going to share some music by extraordinaire producer BK of Wolfgang Productions. So stay tuned to that later in the show. All right. Cool.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me, folks. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in to this show. We appreciate you guys always supporting not only Still Nick fans, SKF, but as well as NBK, Nothing But Knicks, and our guy Simeon Russell. So thank you guys for being here and rocking with us. So without further ado, let's get it cracking. So first off, I just wanted to knock off, a couple things that have been making their rounds around the news, the airwaves these days. And I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm gonna get your take, John, see how you feel. And obviously the chat, you guys are always welcome to tell us how you guys feel about it. We appreciate it. Shout out to Deron Wayne, Geraldine McIver, the first lady of Still Nick fans and the Knicks community in the building. Let's go. It don't stop. Let's go. Anyway. So first off, Devonte Graham. The NBA is still enforcing their policies, man. They have suspended Devonte Graham for 2 games, which I think is actually a pretty lenient sentence. If you guys don't remember, Devonte was caught up in a DUI incident, but a DWI, what was he, World War something? I don't know. Anyway, he was in a DUI incident. And let's just say he's lucky that it could have got a lot worse for him. But anyway, the NBA has, their own policy about that stuff, and they're taking it very seriously. And they decided to suspend him 2 games, which, I feel he kind of got a slap on the wrist. He got off easy. What do you think, John? You think, they did him dirty, or they gave him a break?
I mean, I would say they give him a break. It could be a lot worse, seeing that everything that's been going on. I mean, there's a trial right now going on. I know if you heard, probably everyone's talking about, but Terrence Williams, former Net, is, going to pay a hefty fine. I think he pleaded guilty to a couple of counts, but like things like that are happening in and around the NBA are given sort of are handing a sore eye to the NBA, and they're not looking good to the perspective that people want, to root for their players and root for these teams. But, players have an obligation to just be, professionals in the sport of basketball, in the NBA. As to be a part of the NBA is a privilege, and you shouldn't be taking that lightly. So I think it's important for all players to really just abide by most of those rules, if not all. And you know, I mean, this is what they get paid to do. This is the reason why you sign a contract.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, I think that the NBA is got to take tough stances on these things because it's a lot of young people out here playing a sport and getting
Right.
paid big dollars. And if you don't give anybody any type of direction or there's no type of, hey, don't do that. Wait up, what you doing? Whoa. If there's none of that,
No
the
repercussions,
NBA
right?
is gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. So I'm glad that they at least are giving the impression that you just can't get away with stuff and not it's not gonna go unnoticed by the NBA. So that's good. And
Right.
hopefully, Devonte Graham gets his life together and doesn't have any more incidents like that, and just is able to play basketball. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a real problem. It's a real problem in every league. You know what I mean? Baseball they just I think for the Yankees they had to uh, sort of suspend what's his name, the pitcher. He just had a no hitter too. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
oh
Herman
Herman, yeah.
due to drinking. You know what I mean? So, and that's something that I guess they found out that he was doing, and it was coming to games, I guess, heavily intoxicated, so to the point where they noticed that there was an issue. So, um, just you gotta be professional. Got to be professional in all that you do.
I
I mean,
agree. I agree.
nine to
They
fives, you're not gonna able to. You know what I mean? I mean, for most nine to fives that you work city jobs, you're not allowed to
mhm.
drink on the job and stuff like that. Or, um, some people do it, but if you get caught, there's repercussions to all those actions.
Yeah, you can't just go do whatever you want. If if that was the case, forget it, man. With this, you talk about chaos. We would everything would be unruly, man. There'd be no order.
Hey, sometimes that feels like the world that we do currently live in. But
You ain't far from it. I agree with you on that. That's not far fetched. Um, so yeah, that's that. And that's not all the news that we got going on. There's other stuff, and this is different because I don't know if it's a slow news week or it's just things happening that I don't really see happening too often.
right,
Uh, you know that the next thing up is the Orlando Magic donating $50,000 to support a politician. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen this. I mean, have we ever seen a? I mean, maybe we have. I don't know, John. To your recollection, have you seen a sporting team don't make a donation to a politician before?
and I don't not that I could recall. Outwardly, possibly if there was a owner, it would have been the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. I
Mm,
mean, Kraft does. Kraft also. So Kraft is also known to donate to the political world as well. But I don't know if I think they donate to a party, not necessarily a um, sort of like someone running, not an incumbent or a politician who may be running for president or governorship or something like that. They generally just donate to an actual party.
mhm.
Um, but I know the crafts do for sure. Um,
S- So, how do you feel about them donating to a specific individual? Because the whole thing is, if the NBA and any sports organization, if you feel strongly about certain athletes that represent your image, uh, voicing their opinions about certain topics, and some of their opinions are very controversial, and
right.
yet you kind of try to do your own little policing of that because you don't want them to give your brand a bad image. But then what happens when an actual organization in your establishment supports a specific politician who's already controversial? Does that put that team in line with that individual? And now you're drawing this whole spotlight on your organization for the wrong reasons. That's how I look at it. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what they're doing. I mean, the owner's taking it upon himself to say, I side with this, individual and their sort of policies around whatever it is that they are, running their campaign on. So, um, I would say that, I mean, ownerships in general, anyone who owns any corporation or anything of that nature, generally donate to, a political party specifically,
Mhm.
and under the rule that they'll be, funding someone in that party's run for whether it's mayorship or governorship or presidency. Um, but again, it's they don't necessarily. I've never heard of one particular owner donate to like and outwardly say that they're donating to a specific individual. I'm surprised by, just because it's not gonna look right. But again, it all depends on what state they're in. Like I know Orlando specifically is a Republican state, so they're generally going to back Republican because of its heavy Cuban influence.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, if that's the case, you know, um, it's not much is going to change. Now, if that individual sided with a Democrat, then I think there would have been like it would have been a little bit questionable for the folks in Orlando and other parts of Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That
so
that that would have been something.
yeah, it would have been crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Listen, Florida's a wild place. They got a lot of stuff going on, whether you agree with it or not. Florida's got a lot of stuff going on. And this I don't honestly, this doesn't surprise me because there's just so many things that are happening these days that I haven't seen in my lifetime. As I'm older now, I'm seeing everything. When we were kids, I don't even think necessarily that we were oblivious and didn't notice. Certain things just weren't happening. Now things are happening that I've never seen before, even heard of.
Right,
So
right.
it is what it is, man. It's life. Uh,
I mean, to A Train, who's on the chat right now, shout out to you. He stated here how many donations are not disclosed. I mean, many, if not all. So
right.
you really have to do an extreme dive into politics to really figure things out like that. So, but this is not this show. I mean, but it is interesting that this is what's happening around the NBA.
It's very true. So a couple more, and then we're gonna get into FIBA and talk about what's going on there. Take a look at the rosters once again because I don't know if we took a look at some of. I think we only paid attention to the USA roster at one point, but we'll take a
Right.
look at what they got going on out there. But the firing of Mark Jackson. Now, this is crazy to me because I thought he was already fired, to be honest. I thought when ESPN handed down the axe, chopped Jeff Van Gundy and the rest of them, I thought
Right.
Mark Jackson was in that bunch. So I'm like, people are a little outraged. They fired Mark Jackson. I'm like, I thought it already happened. I already made peace with it. But
Right.
apparently it didn't happen. But anyway, how do you feel about this? Not only the firing of Mark Jackson,
Right.
but the new ESPN lineup of Doris Burke, Mike Breen, and Doc Rivers.
Yeah, I'm clearly surprised as you were. I mean, I thought he was gone with the rest of them as well. I didn't know there were like separate contract negotiations and talks that were happening outside of the.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were all part of the full negotiating pact, but I guess they
Mm-hmm.
weren't. Um, yeah, I mean, I like Mike Green. I think he's really good at what he does. Don't I don't remember hearing Doc on, anything.
He
Um,
used to. He
he
used to,
used
but it
to.
was a
I just
long
don't.
time
It's a
ago.
while ago. I don't recall
Yeah.
it, and I don't know how that would fare. Um, but again, it's sort of a similar tactic. You get your ex NBA player alongside, an analyst who has been in the business for a very long time. So I think all in all, it'll work. I don't think it'll shift that much. But I'm surprised to see I'm surprised to see Doris Burke back in. You know what I mean? I know she was sort of out for a little bit of time, so she's back in as a floor commentator. So we'll see how it works out, man. Either way, you're sort of kind of used to that trio effect, and
Right.
they haven't gone far away from the norm. So I'll say that.
Yeah. Agreed, agreed. And yeah, and I see what you're saying. You know, the shout out to Deron Wayne, the NBA's political. Appreciate you. A Train, salute. Lion of Judah, my guy Todd Paul. What's good, my brother? J Rue's in the building. Appreciate y'all. Jubes is here. Salute, Jubes. Yeah, I mean, you know, he says, and let me see Jubes' comment because Jubes says media and people way too high on USA and Canada. The young with no international experience, and a couple that with super high expectations, a recipe for disaster.
It's a good point.
Interesting, because we are just about to start talking about FIBA and the FIBA games, and yeah, it well, you know, that's what it is with these. I don't know, like, what do you call them? I mean, they're sanctioned events. They're not exhibition events. So I don't know. I feel like, but you know, the other thing about it is sometimes the competition level, because you're bringing in outside entities, other you know nations and stuff that really want to be on this world stage and show what they can do. Sometimes the competition level is, you know, that much better than your actual sport you're used to watching. You know, just like what we saw with the World Baseball Classic. Those
Yeah.
games was good, man. I'll
Yeah.
watch any of those games over a regular baseball game right now.
They're exciting because it's a lot of them are elimination games. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so this is what's so great about these international games and sort of doing these world class games, or world games, I should say. That the way they work in their schedule and the way they start eliminating teams. It's important that you win every game, so you win a point. You know what I mean? Similar to soccer, and what we see in the FIFA World Game. So there shouldn't be no difference. You're on a division. You got to win the division by winning games, and not ending in a tie. So
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. Thanks, Jude. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the comment. Shout out to Allah Wise in the building as well. Salute. Peace to the God. What's going on, brother? Um, yeah, man. But you know, it's one of those things that it's not going away. You got to understand that there's just a lot of money to be made in sports overseas. So
right,
it's going to keep happening. It is what it is. And I enjoy it. If it was horrible, if the competition was trash and we couldn't even watch games, if it was like watching the Summer League, oh, shoot. I should have said that. My fault. Did you guys hear that? No, but yeah, man, it's good. It's fun. It's good competition. So we have to, you know, keep representing for USA and wherever you come from, and just enjoy it, man, because it doesn't always happen. It's not
right.
like it happens all throughout the year. It's once a year, you know.
True that. True that.
All right. So what I want to do now is pull up the FIBA schedule first. Let me see here. Uh man, I tell you, the NBA.com still gets me. I looked at the NBA.com twice today and I saw two different schedules. The one that I want to see and the one that they do this thing where they change up how the appearance of their site, but it don't work. A lot of us are complaining. They're not making it easy for content creators these days, man. It's not great. Not great. Um I'll do it this way because they're just this stinks. Uh,
What are the teams you're most excited to see? Is it Canada and the USA?
it is. But
Right,
I mean, I'm not opposed to seeing the French either. The French, they might be all right. France
right.
got an interesting team, I think. Uh,
You can never
so we'll
sleep
see.
on Spain.
Oh,
Spain and
good.
Puerto
That's
Rico
true.
usually have a solid team.
Yeah. See, the only thing is I don't know too much about Puerto Rico's team these days. Like back in the
Right.
day, Puerto Rico's team used to add some
Yeah.
fire.
I mean, there's always some guys who come out and play and represent PR. They make a game of it. I wouldn't say they're like a highlight team to watch, but could always consider Spain to be an elite team, with all the
Hmm.
players that come out of there overseas. So we'll see. A couple of
Yeah.
European teams too, like you know, you have to always check out, any sort of European team that's coming out, whether it's the Czech Republic or some else.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, So here is the schedule. guys, and then we'll take a look at some of the rosters. Well, actually, you know what? Probably should do it in reverse. Let me get the rosters first, so we know who's on the teams, because then that gets you a little bit more excited for the schedule. Then you're like, oh, okay, these guys are playing these guys. All right, now
Right,
I'm
right.
interested. All right, so let's take a look at the roster first. So these are set up in groups, Group A through Jesus, not through Jesus. It's Group A through Group H. So, so let's take a look at these. Hold on one second. All right, I'm gonna drop this down. Okay, so this is Group A. Apparently, the Angola roster was not announced, whatever that means to you. But the Dominican Republic, it's got Carl Anthony Towns. Raise your hand if you knew Carl Anthony Towns was Dominican. I mean, I knew, but when I first found out, what? Okay, all right. So Dominican Republic has Carl Anthony Towns, Chris Duarte, Lester Quinones, Al Horford.
Those are the notable players that are in the NBA, though.
Right. This is not.
Right.
Yeah. Correct.
It's
This
not
is
the full
not
roster.
the whole. Yeah. They out there with 4, baby. Come on, let's go. Yes, this is the notables.
Right.
And then Italy has Simone Fontecchio or Fontecchio. Maybe it's a hard C there. 2 C's. Go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering what would, because I'm seeing Kyle Anderson under China. I want what's the what allows you to be like to join a certain world? Do you have to have residency there or something? Or
I don't know if it's residency or if you can prove birthright wise that you
Birthright?
are part. Yeah, I thought it was birthright, but I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know.
interesting.
No, I don't think it. Yeah, it has to be birthright, because if it was residency, you know how many cheaters there would be.
Yeah, I just
don't
don't know. I'm a big, because like there's something to be said around like how folks are able to, like, I didn't know Kyle Anderson is of Chinese descent. I'm surprised by
I
that one.
mean, he could be. He could be.
But I'm surprised by that one.
Yeah, because if you saw my uncle, you wouldn't think he's of Chinese descent, but he is. So, yeah, so that's interesting. Anyway, so Philippines have Jordan Clarkson.
Right.
I'm thrown off by that one too. You
No,
knew that?
I knew that. I knew that one. Yeah, I knew that one.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that one. Shout out to Canal Banlaya. Dominicans love New York. Just saying. Thank you. Appreciate that. And yeah, I speak for my Dominican brethren. Yes. Yes. Dope.
Yeah, actually, he is. Kyle Anderson is Chinese.
That's
Who
crazy.
knew? I didn't know
Who
that.
knew? Well, okay. There you go. I mean, but doesn't that make sense that Kyle Anderson would be Chinese? He would be something that you don't think he is, because he's slow-mo on the court, yet he's effective, right? So
Very effective.
that makes sense. Shout out to Kyle Anderson.
Right
Knicks 100 was good. You know, every team can take one non-citizen. Ooh, interesting.
Right. But you have to be of that descent, right? So
you got to be of that descent, I would think. You can't just, like Shaq can't say, I'm playing for China, you know.
Right.
But then again, you never know. Shaq is a military kid, so you never know. I mean,
you never know.
I don't know. Right. Yeah. Shout out to Worldwide L, Hector Gaston in the building. Salute. What's good?
Salute.
Appreciate y'all. Yo, you guys go check out For the Love of the Game. They're back and full swing. Hardwill and Worldwide L are doing the damn thing. And congratulations to Worldwide L for getting married. He is one of the royal bunch now. Salute to you, my brother.
Nice. Congratulations.
All right. So now Group B, we already said Kyle Anderson is playing for China. Serbia has Bogdan Bogdanovic, Alexei Pokusevski. All right, getting a little better. Watch out. Oklahoma City Thunder's Alexei Pokusevski. Nikola Jovic, the Miami Heat one. And Filip Petrusev from, I don't know him. I don't
Hmm.
know if he plays a lot for Philadelphia. I don't know if I know him.
Hmm.
So that's what Serbia is rocking with. South Sudan roster's not announced, and Puerto Rico, no NBA players on the roster. I think that
They
is
don't even
really
have
what.
a team.
Yeah, jeez, man,
See, they
jeez.
went from being a top tier team to not even having a team. Look at
To your bodyguards, Uchi Wally Wally, Uchi Wally.
that.
No, oh
You know what I'm
man, see,
saying?
that's like they're not even mentioned at all. It's crazy.
That's
All
wild.
right, so Group C. Ooh, Greece has Giannis Antetokounmpo,
They
and
have all
that
their
is
brothers.
enough. That's
They have
enough for that
all
team.
of their brothers, all four of
That's
them.
all they need, B.
Is it four or five? How many
It's
brothers they
three.
got?
It's
They
three, I
got they
think.
got
Or
three.
maybe there's a
No, they
fourth.
got
Maybe
four.
there's
They
a
got
younger one.
four. There's a
There
younger
could
one.
be a younger one.
Yeah, yeah.
I will tell you this just a quick thing. If you guys remember, which you probably don't remember, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was coming into the league, all they kept talking about was his youngest brother. It's like, listen, Giannis looks great, but wait till you see the youngest brother. And let's just say that hasn't panned out. Has not panned out. So so as you can see, Greece has Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's it. Oh wait, there's Thanasis as well. Ugh, I
Right.
don't even want to mention him, man. Whatever. All right, so he's there as well. Jordan has no one. Well, the roster's not announced. New Zealand, same. The United States, ooh, coming in deep. Paolo Banchero, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, Jaren Jackson Jr., Cameron Johnson, the Brooklyn Nets Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, Bobby Portis, which that's just the odd one to me, but maybe the veteran leadership,
Right.
Austin Reeves. That's a good, and that's see, and this ain't once
Solid.
again not the whole squad. This is the notables, but look at how many notables they got.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
it's the United States. They can run with most
yeah,
NBA
yeah,
players.
yeah.
Unlike before, you remember when they tried the college route and that didn't pan out so well.
Oh wow! And shout out to Poppy King in the chat. He says it's four, so it's four brothers.
Yeah,
Jeez, man.
they got a
Okay.
young one coming up.
Wow. Wow.
I'm thinking that that was who they were talking about, the youngest of the
Yeah.
young.
Yeah. Maybe. No. They were talking about the third youngest, but he didn't pan out. But
Okay.
well, yeah, we could switch it though for their sake. And then we got Group D. Group D has Egypt has no players on the roster. NBA players on the roster, should I say? Lithuania has Jonas Valanciunas and Azulas Tubelis or Tubelis, whatever. Um, from the Sixers. Mexico has no NBA players on the roster. Are there any Mexicans
I'm
of
sure of
Mexican
it.
descent in the NBA?
Yeah, I believe they are. At least one.
Huh. Huh. Interesting. Montenegro is interesting. Nikola Vucevic. I didn't know he was from Montenegro.
Mm.
All right, that's Group D, folks. Group E has Australia. Australia rolling deep. They've got Xavier Cooks, Dyson Daniels, Dante Exum. I didn't even know
He
Dante
still
Exum was still.
plays.
Yeah. Josh Giddey, Josh Green from the Dallas Mavericks, not the other Josh Green guys. Joe Ingles, Jock Landale, Patty Mills, Matthijs Steibel, and Jack White. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad. Got some NBA representation. They might be able to sneak by a couple teams. I don't know how many rounds it is, but they might be able to do something.
There aren't many though.
Finland,
That's the key part to this all. It's like you get, I
right.
guess you play 3 games and then you got to get by and qualify, and then you go against a different group. It's usually how it
Yep.
works.
So Finland has Lauri Markkinen. Germany has Dennis Schroeder, Daniel Tice, Franz Wagner, and Moritz Wagner, the Wagner twins. Japan has Yuta Watanabe and Rui Hachimura. Yeah, I knew Rui was, yeah.
Right.
Um, okay, and then let's see what does Group F have? Group F, and once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, these are the notable NBA players that are representing these places. There's more players on the team. This is just the
Yeah.
notable NBA players.
And
Group F
that's a
has
good catch by Deron Wayne. No Ben Simmons playing for Australia, right?
that is interesting, right? But and the funny thing is that he's not playing. So I would think initially, off the top of my head, oh, Ben Simmons not playing because he's trying to work and get himself healthy. But you guys remember on the other show, I mentioned that according to Ben Simmons' agent, he is 100% healthy and ready to go. So he could have played with them, but maybe it's just better if he doesn't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. If I'm gonna get hurt, I'm gonna get hurt in the NBA after trying to rehab. I'm not gonna get hurt in FIBA.
Right.
Yeah. So Group F has Cape Verde and no NBA players on the roster. Georgia has Goga Bitadze, Sandro Mamukelashvili. Oh, this is a rough one. Mamukelashvili. Mamukelashvili. I think that's closer,
That's
but I
really
don't.
close.
Listen, don't kill me. I'm trying. Slovenia has Vlatko Kankar and this guy named Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Group G has Brazil, Raul Neto. Sorry, and let me just for the people out there, Venezuela doesn't have any NBA players on the roster. Okay, now Group G, Brazil has Raul Neto, Cote d'Ivoire. I can't say that. Cote d'Ivoire. All right, Mo Bamba's from there. Okay,
right.
so they got Mo Bamba. Iran has no NBA players on the roster. I don't think I've ever seen NBA player from Iran. Maybe. I'm not sure. Spain has Ricky Rubio, Santa Aldama, and Usman Garuba. Then we get to Group H, which is the last group. And this is where we got Canada. Canada has
And
Jamal
that
Murray.
not for nothing. Look at this group. That group
I
in
know, right? I
intense.
know.
They got like these. I would say the three teams on the top of this list. You got to watch out for.
Yep.
Both players come from there a lot.
Canada has Jamal Murray, Shea Gilgris Alexander, RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, Nikhil Alexander Walker, who is the cousin to Shea Gilgris Alexander, if those people out there didn't know that. Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell, O'Shea Brissett, and Corey Joseph. Now, okay, I'll wait till after this. France, oh boy, watch out. Ntilikina's in the
Frank
building,
sighting.
folks. Let's go. Frank Ntilikina, Nicholas Batum, Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert. And see, this is the thing. I'll get to it after. Latvia is in the building. They've got Kristaps Porzingis and Davis Bertans on their team. And then Lebanon has no NBA players on the roster. Okay. So this is what I was going to say, guys. Real quick.
Let's cut to the two. Let's cut a two shot. I think we're done here with the rosters. But let's talk.
I guess you're right. Let's get this out of here. Bing and bomb. Okay, so this is what I was going to say, guys. Even though France only has 4 players, right, representing them, and you see Canada's got a bunch of guys, USA's got a bunch of guys, Australia's got a bunch of guys. You cannot underestimate France because those players are good ball players who are non-NBA players. They're pretty good. And then with the NBA players they got, they have a nice little mesh and they're used to playing together. So that's the key too, the familiarity that these guys have with each other. And France keeps it, their team is like well gelled. So you can't overlook them. Now, to your point, John, you were saying 3 teams that you probably got to watch is probably Canada, Australia, and USA.
Oh no, I was saying in that group H, they're solid teams right there.
Oh yeah.
Latvia,
Definitely. Oh yeah.
France, and then Canada. So that's going to be an interesting grouping. Who's going to come out of there? Because I think you get probably like top 2 teams probably make it to the next round. Usually how it works, and then they start the group matchups afterwards. So it's going to be whatever team has the largest team that plays together, like you were saying, regularly, will be there in the running. Just because they know how they play, and then they fit the stars in. They'll work. They'll get the stars to sort of work around the stars, and they'll play their position.
Mm,
But like you said, a team like France is always in it because they know their key players. Even the key players that play for the NBA, like Fournier, he already has a role. You know what I mean? And so this Gobert, they have roles on their team for France, and the schema doesn't change for much for them. You know, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be fun to watch basketball in
yeah,
the off season. Gotta love it.
yeah. It is definitely interesting. Jubes, shout out to you. Australia got more continuity than any team going and coming off the Olympic bronze medal. It's a
So
good
true.
point. It's a good point.
Yep, very true.
Shout out to Jubes. Shout out to Jay from PR in the building. He says it's still early, but looks like Brunson was running with bench squad in practice. I wonder if he's gonna start. Oh, he's gonna start. No, I don't know. He
Who
might.
knows?
They got a good squad, so it don't matter. For this, I don't think. I think these guys.
They may
I
not
think
start
honestly,
every game, but they may start
yeah, yeah.
a handful of
I
games.
can see them doing that. Like even remember like the Dream Team. I mean, that
Mhm.
was incredible. But not everybody could start. They had to stagger it, like see who matched up against these. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that was the biggest. The Dream Team was the biggest. The biggest slide was against Isaiah Thomas for not making that squad, right? So you could have said Isaiah Thomas should have made that squad, but there was like some personalities that couldn't mesh well with Isaiah, and that was the reason why they didn't have him jump on. But again, you generally have Magic starting at point, but there were moments where Stockton got a start, got a nod.
mhm. That's true. That is true. Um, Shout out to let me see, was that Alawise? Yeah. Alawise was asking if Vildoza is playing for FIBA this year or Rokas. Honestly, I don't know. If you went to FIBA, you see that Vildoza is on the website, but it doesn't show if he's on a roster. So if anybody else knows of that, if anybody's heard anything, please by all means, mention it because I would love to know. Because I'm not sure. And Rokas, he's another one. Like he shows up on the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cups page,
Right.
but I don't know. I'm not
So
sure if he's
depending if
playing.
their country is in it though, right? Because I think
Right.
Rockets is from
Correct.
Lithuania, so I don't know how they go about choosing the countries that are going to be represented in the FIBA games, but I'm assuming they would have to qualify in some way. Maybe games played in years past. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think Lithuania is definitely there. Like they're
Mhm.
being represented. So I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. I'll that'll be something I look into. Allah, appreciate you mentioning it. I'll check and see if I find that out a little later. Okay. So yeah, so those are what the NBA notables look like for these teams. Who knows, who else? Because that's the other thing. There might be somebody who's not an NBA player on one of these teams that is nice or that plays really good at these FIBA World Classic, and
Right.
you can't account for that because we don't know who they are. But we'll find out. We'll see them when
Yeah.
they start playing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's that. Now let's take a look at the schedule because the games are about to start in I think 3 weeks or so. I think that's the first game. Let me see here. Uh, where's my oh, there it is. FIBA World. Hmm. Okay, here we go. So this is kind of dark. Hopefully everybody can see it, but let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Ooh, why is it off to the side there? Um, all right. So first games start August 25th. It's week 1 of 3, so it's not long. Um, you got Finland versus Australia. at 4 a.m. I mean, these are obviously different times. It'll be
Time
different.
zones are crazy.
Right. Crazy. Exactly. You got Angola versus Italy, Mexico versus Montenegro, Latvia versus Lebanon, Dominican Republic versus the Philippines, Germany versus Japan, Egypt versus Lithuania. Here's a matchup: Canada versus France. So
Already
it's out the
from
gate.
jump.
Out the
From
gate.
jump. That's crazy.
That's a good one. All right. So you got that. Then you got Cape Verde versus Georgia, South Sudan versus Puerto Rico, Jordan versus Greece, Iran versus Brazil, Serbia versus China, Slovenia versus Venezuela, USA versus New Zealand, Spain versus the Ivory Coast. So I mean, anything could happen with these games, but the matchup out of all of these looks like France versus Canada. That looks like the most interesting one
Right.
that I could see. Yeah. I think
That's the one that
that's
stands out the most because you got the majority of players there that are notable for both sides
right.
outside of the US and Canada. But France, I think, didn't they win it the last? No, they came second to US, right? So
I
US
believe
won it.
so. Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting. And might as well just go down real quick because it's only 3 weeks. And these games are already predetermined, for the 3 weeks. And then if they have their playoff set situation, that's different. But they haven't
Right.
put that up, and we don't know that. Week 2 is Italy versus Dominican Republic, Australia versus Germany, Montenegro versus Egypt, Lebanon versus Canada, Philippines and Angola, Japan and Finland, France and Latvia. That might be interesting because that's France with Fournier and those guys versus Porzingis and his
Mhm.
peeps. Lithuania, which most likely would be Rokas over there, and versus Mexico. China and South Sudan. Venezuela and Cape Verde, Ivory Coast and Iran, New Zealand versus Jordan, Georgia versus Slovenia, Puerto Rico versus Serbia, Greece versus the USA. Greece might
Might be a good
come to
game.
play. That might be a
And
good game.
Brazil and Spain looks like a good game too.
And Brazil and Spain might be an interesting game too. And then
Right.
finally, week 3 of their FIBA World Cup is Germany versus Finland, Angola versus Dominican Republic, Egypt versus Mexico, Lebanon versus France, Australia versus Japan, Philippines and Italy, Montenegro and Lithuania, Canada and Latvia. Hmm?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Although Canada might have a lot of juice over there. I don't know if Latvia can hang. Porzingis gonna
Right.
have to do a lot. Um, South Sudan and Serbia, Georgia and Venezuela, Ivory Coast and Brazil, USA and Jordan. Man, USA got a nice little easy road, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Warm-up games.
Yeah. Slovenia and Cape Verde, China and Puerto Rico.
It's a tough one for PR.
Yeah. Greece and New Zealand. Maybe that might be good. And then Iran and Spain. And
Right.
that's it. Okay. All right. Well, that's the schedule, folks. There's not a lot of like, oh, these are definitely going to be incredible competition type games happening. Then again, you never know because these teams could surprise and then make it to the point where once they get into the little playoff matchups, it gets exciting. So
Right.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how it all pans out. Shout out to Jack City in the building. You late to the party, but you're here. Thank you for being here and
All that
supporting
matters.
not only us but NBK, man. Appreciate you. East Blue Drew's in the building. Knicks won today is here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. East Blue
Right.
Drew said, "I want Canada versus USA." Don't we all? Don't we
Yeah.
all? And yeah, I know, right? Come on, don't hit him with the knowledge, B. Shouldn't Puerto Rico be a part of the USA? Facts.
Absolutely not. They're a sovereign state.
You want, but wait, but they're a Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth, but they're not. They're not part of the U.S.
That I thought when you're a Commonwealth, that means we got a lot in common. No,
We're just in
that's not how it
common.
works.
Nope.
All right. Okay.
Fortunately enough, it's not how it works.
So much for that, guys. Sorry. USA got a fixed schedule. They damn do. They gotta listen. This is the type of thing that worries me. No, I won't, because they got Brunson and Josh Hart on the team. I'm not worried at all. But
Yeah,
another USA team without some of these names, I'd be like, yo, this is when you get smoked. You take these guys too lightly, something
right,
happens.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Shout out to Mikkel Bennett. Thank you for being here. Uh, yeah, yeah. Let PR do them. Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, PR don't play, man. So I hope PR gets a resurgence, man. I hope there's some player that comes out. Who is the guy that was really killing it for? Oh, Carlos Arroyo. Carlos
Mm,
Arroyo used to get busy for PR
yeah,
back in the day.
they had a few
Yeah,
really good, solid players to PR.
yeah. Salute, salute, salute. All right. Well, guys, listen. As John mentioned earlier, if you're late to the party, appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Our special guest was tied up. He was trying to make it, and we thought there might be a possibility, a slim chance, but unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So
This
that's
is what we could
okay.
do. We could talk about what the show is going to be lined up to do. Like what are we expecting from this new program? You want to share with the folks like what do we
Yeah,
have in store
definitely.
for them?
Because this is what you're going to see next week. Okay. Next week, and what you would have saw tonight is generally we'll go through certain topics and certain things around the league, certain news that'll break, or if there's information that we feel like should be discussed, and then we'll get into whatever is actually happening in the NBA. When the NBA starts and it gets going and we got games to talk about, we might talk about what we usually do, a little brief rundown of the standings, not too crazy, just a little brief rundown to get your glimpse of what's happening around the NBA. um, and then we would get into our guest and talk about their thoughts on the NBA. If there's a team that they grew up watching, a team that they love, how that all happened for them, and then their thoughts on not only that team, but if there's something else they want to talk about with regards to the NBA, they're welcome to chime in on that. We'll get into hip hop because this is going to be a hip hop / NBA oriented show, and we want to talk about hip hop as being a big part of it. Not to mention, this is the 50th anniversary of hip hop, folks.
That's right.
Like John has came to me with this idea of combining the two way before we got to this point, guys. So just understand, like we were talking about this last year. So
Right.
like early last year. So so yeah, it's a long time coming, and I'm glad that we're finally here. But eventually we'll get it to the way we want it to look. So the point is to get the guest on, and then after we chop it up and talk about that stuff, at the end of the show, we'll have a moment where the artist can spit some bars for you guys so you can hear how they take their craft, and then you also find out where you can find them to hear more from them, and they can promote their music. Or even if we're talking about someone who makes beats, they could promote
Right.
their beats and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
that's what
producers
that's what
are
the show is going
also
to be about, right?
yeah, we're also trying to highlight, upcoming producers, beat makers, artists of all kind, mostly rap, MCs, give them a platform to show their skill level, and share their music to our viewership. So, looking forward to that. Looking forward to some folks to join us in the coming weeks. We may have a couple of surprises for you. Unfortunately, today, we it didn't happen. So, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna highlight one of our producers who, really share some love to the show and to us. And yeah, you want to introduce it, Ron?
Yes. So we're gonna play some tracks from music producer BK Wolfgang Productions. And obviously, if you guys like what you hear, by all means, feel free to reach out. And maybe you're an artist and you want to beat, like reach out to Wolfgang, see if he can hit you with something, see how y'all can work that out and collab. Maybe be beneficial for both of y'all. So you can catch him at Wolfgang PROD at AOL.com.
Right.
So yeah, man,
If you like
definitely,
what you hear, hit them up. But let's listen to a couple of those tracks, man.
yeah, definitely
What you got for us?
appreciate him for supporting what we got going on, and you know, can't say enough about that. All right, so Let's see here. Cardi. Start with that.
What else we got?
All
Tough
right.
track right there.
So that yeah, man. That's just the primer to get you warmed up, folks. All right, we got a couple other joints here. And also just so you have an idea, if you're an artist that wants to be on the show, maybe you like the NBA, want to talk about the NBA and also promote your craft and bring up what you got going on, this is an opportunity for you to feel free to reach out to us. I'm going to put the information so you can send us email with your contact info. Maybe we could set something up. What we'll probably do is, if you don't have your own non-copyrighted clean beat that we can use without getting no issues, then we'll offer you 3 of these different beats. You pick one of the 3 and you can at the end of the show you'll be able to spit some bars over that. So definitely looking forward to collabing with everybody. Here's another one.
Absolutely. Man, I wish I rhymed.
Yeah. All right, let's not give him too much. Let's not give him too much.
Come on, man. They got to throw up some fire emojis for that one. That was fire.
Yeah, I like that one too. Let's get into another one. Oh yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, it'd have been sick if Bing was on today, man. I wish he would have been.
Yeah, man. That's okay. That's okay. We will see if we can make it happen again.
Once again, if you're interested, hold on, let's pause that for a second and put that a little lower. If you're interested in any of these beats, you can reach out to producer BK of Wolfgang Productions. His email is underneath at Wolfgang prod PROD at AOL.com. Definitely hit him up. If you're interested in some of what you're hearing and you want to, license some music out, you can definitely reach out to them there. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. Let's go.
All right.
That's how we close out the show today.
Let's go. Next one. Mm-hmm. Right. It's another dope one. We got 2 more for you right now, and then we're gonna wrap up the show, guys.
Sounds like MOP's coming in. MOP in the building.
Check them out. Fuck that.
That boom bap that Ron loves.
I definitely hear MOP on this track. Who you hear?
Onyx.
Onyx.
Oh yeah.
Who's more relevant? Someone current.
These young kids don't know nothing about this.
Are you crazy?
I don't know, maybe a Joey Badass or something. Maybe a West Side Connection.
That's the West Side. I was just about to say Crooked Eye.
Yeah, Crooked Eye would kill this.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting too hype on this one. All right. And then last one for today.
Turn it up. We ain't trying to blow out anyone.
Right. Last one for today.
Taking him to church. Taking him to church. Eminem.
That part right there, that's like a TV show score or something. Like, you know, it's a chase scene going on right now. All right.
New wave, man. You listen, drills was in right now. You know, for all of us old fogies, you know, we love the boom bap. We grew up on the boom bap. You know, things have a way of evolving. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we got a little bit of fire. You know what I mean? Coming from our guy BK of Wolfgang Productions. You know what I mean? He's definitely looking out for us. Also, you know, giving us opportunities to have a young artist come on and just show their talents on his music. You know what I mean? So much love to you, BK. Appreciate you. Much love. Salute to you. And yeah, let's keep collabing. And yeah, anyone out there who is interested in collabing with us, you know, showcasing their skill level. If you produce music and you want to, you know, showcase some of your music on our show, let us know. But definitely, we are, you know, trying to make these collabs happen. Also, you know, mix it up. That's why we call this show the NBA wrap up, because we want to sort of be creative in the way we approach this upcoming season. So hope you guys enjoy it.
Agreed. And guys, so artists and beat makers, you can reach out to us at Still Nick Fans, not Knicks, even though we are still Knicks fans. You know how emails work sometimes. They don't let you rock the way you want to, and you just got to deal with it. So it's Still Nick Fans at gmail.com. So there it is right there. You know, appreciate all of you guys for supporting us and supporting the show. You know, just bear with us, man. We're gonna get it to exactly the way we want it to be each week, and hopefully y'all continue to tune in and like it, and it spurs something else. And listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, part of the reason why this happened today is because, you know,
we don't even have to go there. We don't even have to go there.
No, because they don't know this. You don't even know this because I didn't tell you.
All right, bet.
We wanted to get, you know, Bing up in here. He was supposed to be on a different show, but we asked him if we could come in today because Jay was supposed to be here. I know y'all like, yo, how's he doing that? He's on tour with B. But listen, I was gonna surprise y'all. Me and Jay, you know, he's from Marcy, I'm from Williamsburg. You know how it is. Come on now. Anyway, but all right, guys, listen, it just, you know, it didn't pan out. But next time, you know, just know I was thinking about y'all.
Yeah, okay. You're always thinking about us, bro. That's why we appreciate you.
Yeah. John?
Yeah.
You think they bought that?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's a possibility. All right. Anyway, definitely once again, artists and beat makers, reach out to us, stillnickfans@gmail.com. If you want to, be on the show, either, it could be in any capacity. You might want to be an artist that, talks about spitting rhymes and you want to do a little freestyle, or even if you're a beat maker and don't want to be on the show, but you want to submit your beats so somebody could rhyme on your beats, maybe you can get the collab going that way too. Either way, it'll work. We're here for it. So thank you guys. Once again, I appreciate y'all for always supporting and tuning in.
Yeah, man. And share, like we always say. What is it? Tell a friend,
Yes.
tells a friend,
Tell a
tells
friend,
another
tells
friend.
a friend, tells another friend. You know what I mean? Still Nick fans, we'll be back again, whether it be on the NBA wrap up, new show 8:30s on NBK, the Nothing But Knicks network, on Thursdays at 8:30, or Know the Ledge 11:15-ish on Saturdays with yours truly, or on Monday at 9 p.m. with Ron and John. But SKF Weekly, we'll be breaking down the Knicks. You know how it is because we're still Knicks fans. It's not going to stop. Wait till basketball starts. You think we're getting crazy now? You wait. You wait.
You're ready.
Any final words, brother?
And man, as always, man, stay blessed out there. Looking forward to the next one. 3 fingers to the sky. I'm out.
There you go. Shout out to Mikhail Bennett. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Or, I assume, you could be anybody. But thank you for tuning in. You've been very, influential in the chat tonight. Appreciate you for showing the love. And look at this guy sneaking in there. Oh, hey, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you as always, man. Thank you. Knicks won today in the building. And yeah, that's our show, guys. Thank you, guys. We got somebody who wants to. All right. Okay. All right. No doubt. We'll definitely make that happen. I know how to find you. All people will call your people. All right, guys. Well, thank you once again for tuning in. We appreciate you. As I said, good things come to those who wait, for us as well. We're going to get this exactly the way we want it to. Just bear with us. Anything new, sometimes it takes a little time to get it right where you want it, but it's going to happen. So keep supporting us, keep tuning in, and keep supporting Nothing But Knicks and Simeon Russell and all of his content and the people on in the NBK community, because it's everybody's dope. So thanks again, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your night. We out of here. Run that.